How is it going? Let me get my focus here. That's right, I don't use autofocus on my FS7 when I'm in this stance, although I use autofocus out in that world, the vlogging world. That's not what I came here to talk to today. I wanted to talk to you about editing. So you see, when editing is good in a film, you shouldn't actually notice it. You shouldn't be saying, wow, the editing's good. No. You should be so immersed in the story and in the film that you forget how good the editing is. It's a bit like a magician who has a sleight of hand trick. You shouldn't actually be noticing it. You should be watching what's happening and being entertained and enjoying the show. That's why good editing is almost invisible. And if you notice the editing, or you start wondering about the plot and what's happening in the film, then that's when maybe the editing's off. So today isn't about, 3 quick tips on how to edit better in Adobe Premiere, although those videos are good. You really should know how to use your software and be efficient at it. What I wanted to really talk about today is how to be a better storyteller in your edit. And it's actually not that hard. There's 3 quick tips here that I built today about how to become a better editor and a better storyteller, because it's so important when you're crafting a film to draw your audience into that and for them to forget that they're watching a movie, and for them to be immersed in the story that you're trying to tell. So what I did for this video is I reached out to a couple editors who I've worked with and I respect and do amazing work, and I built together 3 quick tips. So my first tip today is brought to you by my good friend Dan Cable. He's an incredible editor. He's cut lots and lots of TV series, including Survivor and Big Brother. He knows how to work with a ton of footage and tell a very concise story. And so Dan's tip is this: keep it simple. And now this might seem like an obvious tip and it might seem a bit patronizing, but what Dan is saying and the way he explained it was that you want to keep your narrative arc in your film, the journey, what your character is trying to get, very obvious and very simple to the audience so that they can understand what your character is going after. Once you've established this in your film, you can then add in all the cool scenes and all the fun stuff. Take, for example, the film I just released in the fall called The Journey. Now, this was about a refugee's journey. And so right off the top, I made sure to put a quote in that people could understand what this film was about. Everything in the first 30 seconds of the journey is establishing that refugees are displaced right now and that they're needing to find home.
Thousands of refugees fleeing Syria.
Up to now, all efforts to bring peace to Congo have failed.
5 years of war, more than 250,000 people have lost their lives.
These refugees have come an incredibly long way.
I left my home, my family,
my people.
You can see from that sequence that we've established that there is an issue, that there is millions and millions of people displaced worldwide, and that they are in need of finding home again. We have these 3 past refugee claimants explaining that they've lost their home, that they've lost their family. And that way, as soon as we see our main character here, Daniela, we can already understand what she's up against and what she's going after, which is to find a new life and a new home. Now, if we had just had random scenes of beautiful footage, you wouldn't know what the heck the film was about, and you wouldn't understand why you're supposed to care about this main character. See, that's so important. Why you want to have a simple narrative in your film is you want your audience to care about your main character. And the best way for them to know why they should care is to show them what your character needs. My next tip comes from an incredible editor, Graham Withers. He actually just got nominated for a Canadian Screen Award for his work on the film Transformer, which is out on Netflix right now. You should definitely watch it. It's a powerful film. Graham is an amazing documentary editor. And what he said is the biggest mistake he sees is that people don't put enough genuine moments in their film. Find real moments. What does he mean by that? Well, montage and crazy editing techniques, that's fun and that's really cool to watch. But when you don't have a real moment where you feel like you're living with the character and there's some breathing room, then you never feel like you actually got to know them and they don't become a real person. You need to have these moments that breathe in order for you to have a real character. And he actually said that some of those moments don't even necessarily have to pertain to your story. We just need to see the person living for just a brief moment in the film. So look at my film Rescate. There was a moment in the graveyard that we just let happen, and that was Ronaldo explaining that his family has passed away from car accidents and that's why he's become a paramedic. But it's a precious little moment of just watching Ronaldo live and be a person.
Una persona de mi familia, mi tío. Cuando vengo a este lugar me pongo muy triste porque él murió en un accidente de tránsito, pero luego no podíamos pagar el dinero porque él necesitaba un ventilador en cuidado intensivo. Y que por mi familia no tener dinero, él murió.
It's just a precious little moment of watching Ronaldo walk through the graveyard and just who he is as a person. Now, if I kept the film all montage like we'd had at the beginning, you wouldn't ever empathize for these people. They would just be random people on camera. You need to get to live and experience some moments with them. So look for genuine moments in your footage. And maybe this means as a camera operator, you're not constantly moving. You're just waiting and letting a moment happen in front of your camera. Let your film breathe.
Héctor Luis tiene apenas 20 años, llegó siendo un niño a Rescate Ámbar.
And your last point comes from an editor I know very well. His name's Mark Bowen. Ha ha ha, it's me. It is know your footage. It's very difficult sometimes with the timelines that we have to know all the footage that you have, but there is gold in that footage, and it's your job as an editor to mine through that footage and get it. So practically, how do you do that? Well, the system that I've developed personally is that I like to take all of my B-roll and I like to put it in one single timeline. I like to line it all up there so that I can quickly scrub through this timeline and I can see all of the footage. I don't have to go over to the bin and double click and dig through my footage that way. I can quickly play through the footage and find moments that I'm looking for or find new moments that I haven't seen. That way I have all the footage available right there and it's not hidden in the bins. I can quickly go from my timeline over to this B-roll timeline and I can scrub through that. And now in a bigger project, you can break those timelines up even further. You can have outdoor footage or indoor footage or different events and break those up into timelines. But why I like to do that is that way I never miss a good shot. I never miss a moment. Sometimes the best moments are when people didn't even know the camera was rolling, or maybe when your cameraman made a mistake. There is gold in your footage and you gotta find it. Don't let disorganization stop you from telling a better story. So I hope those tips helped. Those are 3 important ones. Just to recap those, keep it simple, establish your character's needs, this character arc early on in your film. Make sure to show genuine moments, have some breathing room in the film, and know your footage. Don't miss out on that gold that is in your footage. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Really appreciate all the support so far. I love the engagement. Make sure to leave comments. You guys are doing amazing work, and I would love to see and hear more about it. And I'll see you on the next one.